What you want, yeah. We just chillin' by the Wawas, lemonade with the large fries. Puff twice for the calm high, ayy, what you want, yeah. Big checks make the bank bounce. Old school candy paint down. Bad chicks, they from down south, ayy, what you want, yeah.
Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel, BQ Quick Review. I'm your host, BQ, and we're going to get started on this video. Foreign woman, rules of modern dating and understanding women. It's complicated. It's complicated. One of my favorite channels. You guys should go over there and subscribe. Very cool dude. Love his questions that he asks us about dating and makes you really think and stuff. Very hard-working guy. But yeah, if you guys want me to react to a video, please go down to my go to my Instagram at biquon and just send me a video. I'll react to it. I'll get to it, or just put it down in the comments. But let's get right to it.
What do you think of women in other cultures and how they treat their men?
Ooh, I think foreign women treat their men great. They have traditional values. They cook for
Whoa. Give me some time. Give me some time. Shoot, I usually like to answer these questions along with them. But yeah, she answered it for me. I do think a lot of foreign girls treat their men a lot better. That's why you have all this this big thing with the passport bros and all this stuff and people going overseas to get women and things like that. While I don't agree with it, I think that you should definitely just work on yourself and work with the woman you got here. Because even though across the sea, some of them girls trying to finesse you and stuff, trying to get their green card and they're not stupid. They know the American men are coming over there, and they don't think that there aren't women over there that's gonna finesse your ass. But anyways, I understand the dynamic. I talked about it a little bit in one of my videos, but yeah, I do think that the foreign women do treat women better than the women in the West. But I think that we should give some grace and try to work with the women that we have now, and also work on ourselves. Because I think I see some of the guys that go overseas to do that stuff, and I'm just looking at them. And I'm just like, of course you don't get girls here. I'm just looking at them like, yeah, you don't get girls here because you don't dress well. You're not in shape. You're not, like, you look weird. You act weird. Like, you're freaking antisocial. You don't know how to talk to girls and stuff. So yeah, and that's not all of them. I'm not painting like a big brush over all of those guys. But yeah, definitely some of them could definitely work on themselves before they go overseas. Because if you're a loser here, then you're going to be a loser anywhere, to be honest. But if somebody sees that you're from America and they think that you're going to spend a bunch of money on them, whatever, where the American dollar can be stretched, then of course those women are going to treat you better. But in my opinion, would you want a woman because of that? No, I want a woman that likes me for who I am. And what I have is just an addition. But let's continue. That's just my opinion.
them, they clean for them, and they know their roles.
I feel like in other cultures, a lot of women are more submissive.
Define other cultures. Are we talking like where woman is like the housekeeper and men do the work, but the women serve the men? Because those women, they're doing a job, but I don't want to do that job.
It's a little bit more stricter.
And that's why you're gonna probably
so like
be
they
single.
can't really like do what they want to as far as going outside and like having fun and stuff in other cultures as much as they can.
These girls
in America.
colored hair looking crazy.
Do you think
they,
those women
they
are
both
ignorant
looking
slaves,
crazy.
or are they happy?
I think they're doing what they need to do to get by.
What did you say?
I think they're doing what they think they're supposed to.
Oh no, they're not ignorant slaves. I believe most of them are happy and stuff. My grandma's a traditional woman, and she's
Oh,
very happy.
are they
so.
slaves?
They treat their men very well. They actually worship their men. I see a lot of standing behind their men, waiting for their men. Even just the other day, I saw this lady get out of her Uber, leaving her husband in the car, and just walked away. I wouldn't see that in a Eastern country or a more egalitarian country.
I think it's because they want to. The only reason why
I mean, I'm gonna give a little bit of pushback. I do think that in certain countries or whatever, we know which countries those are, that certain women don't have rights to really talk to men or like really have any rights in their country. Like there's some countries in the Middle East which just now let their women drive. So I feel like that's a little bit crazy. But I mean, that's just a different culture. That's just me looking from the outside in. Maybe that's just okay with the woman over there. I don't know, but it look a bit crazy. But they definitely don't have the rights or have the power to stand up and get those rights themselves. So in those places particular, I don't think that those women are like really have too much of a choice and are particularly happy with those circumstances. But in terms of other places, you know, like what you got in South America and things like that, you know, I think that the women just are raised to do that, and they are very happy doing that because their mothers taught them how to do that with their men and taught them to how to take care of a man and things like that. So yeah, I think most women are happy doing that. I'm gonna just say that. If we're talking on the global sense, I think most women are happy doing that. Let's continue.
Say that is because of the way they're brought up. They're told differently to actually do certain things for that man that just comes second nature.
Because they want
Yeah.
to. Like nobody out there like force girls. They're free. Like the girls like choose to do it.
Nobody's forcing no one.
Countries that aren't necessarily third world don't have as many doesn't have as much infrastructure or as many opportunities or as many options. So it kind of forces the woman and the people there to kind of follow structures that are a little bit more traditional and a little bit more natural.
That's
to
true.
them.
Do you think those women are ignorant slaves, or are they happy?
Most
They're
of them,
happy.
no.
Happiness
I don't think they're
is
slaves.
when you can have a family and you can grow something from scratch from nothing.
Why do you think so many men are traveling overseas to find wives in other countries?
Men are traveling overseas to find wives. Why? I'm right here. I'm single. Why? I want to be married.
Right, but I'm saying, do you typically see women traveling overseas?
If men
I know,
are
you might
traveling
be crazy,
overseas
girl.
to countries that have less money and less education, it's because they want a woman who is dependent on them for their livelihood, for their resources, to have a good life. And I don't think that that is a good thing.
A lot of the men
I don't think that's the case. I think the case is we definitely gotta talk to the women that we have here. A lot of them are very spoiled and masculine, and I think that's the huge consensus that women aren't being women. They're not being feminine. They're starting to act more like the men. And I think that's the big problem in the West and in America and stuff like that. That's why the men are moving out of the country. There's many other reasons and stuff. Like I said, I don't agree with it. I think that if you know how to get women, you're gonna get women everywhere. It doesn't matter about the thing. But I can understand the frustration a little bit. But yeah, like it's not because they want to just control a woman. They just want feminine women. And outside of the U.S., the women are admittedly a lot more feminine. And this is just going across the board or whatever. And this is what the big problem is. But there are definitely still feminine women here who will do all of those things. So I think that's very dishonest to say that with all the women being not educated and things like that. A lot of these women, they're fine doing those things, or some of them are just trying to finesse these men and get a check too. But yeah, let's continue.
know that go overseas to find wives are not great dudes.
Can you be more specific?
Yeah, they're pervy.
What are your thoughts on 90
That's a
Day
stretch.
Fiance or
That's a
Passport
stretch.
Bros?
The passport bros make sense. I can see why men are incentivized to look elsewhere for more traditional qualities in women. 90 Day Fiance, though, I think they have a bad record of matching terrible people together.
Ooh, I'm all for Passport Bros. If you want to go somewhere where they're going to love, respect you, cherish you, cook and clean, and they understand their roles, you should go somewhere where you're loved, because women in today's society, especially modern day women, not all women, it's just you guys forgot your roles. You're supposed to cook, you're supposed to clean, you're supposed to love your partner and take care of his heart and soul, just like men take care of us physically, mentally, and they provide for us. They never forgot their role. So, men, if you want to be a Passport Bro,
She's spitting.
I support it 100%. Have fun.
When it comes to
She was spitting. Shoot, sorry I'm pausing a lot, but this is a lot. You always gotta pause a lot with these videos. Break it down. But yeah, she was spitting. Who is she? She is spitting facts. Yeah, you should. That's why I said I don't agree with it. That's the only thing disagree me and her would have. I don't agree with it. I think you should. There are women still here in the U.S. that are submissive and feminine and everything, and still do some of those traditional roles. But also, I do think that yeah, in the economy we live in America, where one income isn't enough for the household, and most of the other women have jobs or work or whatever, that the roles can be adjusted a bit. If I'm saying just I don't think a woman should work and come home and cook and clean and take care of the kids. Also, I think that they should do that. Don't get me wrong, but if the man isn't financially taking care of the woman completely, then the man should help out with those things. Of course, there are still certain things that I think a man should do, whatever, and a woman should do and should stick to those traditional roles. But there are some things where they can help out and be interchangeable, with the economy that we have here, which is why I think, they go across seas, because the American dollar can be stretched a bit, and you could, stretch your money to take care of a woman fully in those countries rather than in America, which is cool. That's what you do, whatever. I'm not faulting you for doing that, but I think that there's a lot of women here that you can work with. And you move into a foreign country where you don't know the laws and things here, you don't know the crime and the different things. I think it's, unless you have a lot of money, I don't think it's really a good look to leave America to try to find these to try to wife these women. I think you should work with the women here, but that's my opinion. I know some of y'all might disagree with that. Let's go.
To exotic women, what cultures do you prefer and why?
Hispanics, I guess, I like better.
Is your
Exotic
preference
women?
based more on looks or behavior?
I like them all colors.
Right now, I think
It don't matter to
looks
me.
like we're young, so yeah,
I prefer
the only
black,
thing
but
we
I
think
don't
about
mind
it,
other
like, you know,
colors.
have fun.
I'm Jamaican, so I would naturally prefer my own culture. Why? Because there isn't much of a cultural barrier to or language barrier to go over. But also, there's a stereotype that Asian women are a little bit more traditional, a little bit more feminine. So I'm got my eyes on them as well.
When the woman and the man
I
have
like
a date,
'em all. I don't care.
the man
You look
is
good, that's all that
buy
matters to me.
everything. And in the American, yeah.
In over there in Italy,
I'm gonna
it's more
pretend I
like for the
understood what she
family
said.
and for the husband, like cook, clean,
husband.
and all this stuff. Here it's more like, oh, you're a man, you can do it. Or like, why have to do it for you when I work? Yeah, but I work too, you know. So if I work and I'm gonna do it, and you work and I'm gonna do it, like, who's gonna clean the house? Who's gonna cook?
Women are definitely equipped with a lot more traditional skills, i.e. cooking, cleaning, and a con, I would say, is they're just as sometimes very assertive or outgoing as some of the males are. And yeah, feminism is kind of creeping its way in, just little by little.
What do you think the reason that men are not like satisfied with the women in this country and they're looking elsewhere outside?
Men
to
aren't
other countries?
satisfied with the women in this country? Where are you getting this off
Not-
of?
Well,
Not all
Passport
of them.
Bros and 90 Day Fiance. I mean, obviously there's a movement about that.
That is the outlier. That is the exception to the rule. I don't think the majority of men are not happy with women in this country.
Well, I would beg to differ because a lot of guys are kind of checking out of dating. Like they want women, but it's like become so hard because of feminism and this wokeism culture and this Me Too movement. It's making it hard for men to really approach women in this climate. It's making it even sometimes dangerous, you know? So I understand, don't get me wrong, I understand why guys are going overseas and stuff. Because like I said, and the Jamaican guy had said, the women are becoming more masculine over here and they're becoming more like they're becoming more like combative, you know. Like for me, with example, you know, I don't want to hear the whole I don't like to go back and forth and stuff. I'm not the type that likes to argue. There's some girls, especially here in the West, that like to argue. I don't. I'm a man. I like to chill and sit in my peace or whatever. I don't want to go back and forth with you. If that's the case, then I'm gonna just kick you to the curb. Like that's that. I don't want to go back and forth with you. And you don't have to really deal with that too much in foreign countries and stuff. But like I said, it's like you kind of gotta just date and go out there and figure out which women are like that and which women are like that. Now, if you got the money to go out the country, you don't want to waste your time and stuff and go through dates through multiple women to do that. I understand. I can see the appeal of it or whatever. But I feel like you should learn to get the woman here before you go out there. Because if you get the woman here, you're not going to have a problem out there, you know? So, yeah, that's just my thing. I think the women have just become more masculine and more combative and things like that. And dudes don't want to date another dude. They want to date a woman, a feminine woman, you know? They don't want to go back and forth with you. Men just want peace. And I think a lot of modern women and women in the West have not been providing that. Now, I think with certain gender roles and stuff, like some certain things can be interchanged, but you know, that's one critique I'll give with men. Like, you can't be like just your average Joe dude talk about working and then your woman's working and be like, yeah, I cook, clean, and do all this, and you're not taking care of her fully financially. That's not a fair deal, you know? I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think that's a fair deal. If you're taking care of them fully financially, then absolutely she should cook, clean, and do all those things, because it's just a balance. You know, you helping out where the man can't really do that if he's out working and providing, you know? So yeah, that's my opinion of it. Let's continue.
Does a woman's behavior play any role in how she's treated by men?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Huge role, actually. How you carry yourself
Absolutely.
and how you behave towards yourself and how you treat others is a very good indicator of how people treat you and how you actually expect to be treated. So yeah.
So why are people so quick to blame the man when things go wrong in a relationship?
Because it's still their fault.
Why is that?
Yeah, Shorty's just trolling, just saying stuff just to say it.
Well, because I'm a woman and I know best.
That's because men are always willing and ready to take the responsibility even when things are going to shit. I myself have taken blame for things that I haven't necessarily been responsible for, so it's just a thing that men are innately going to shoulder the burden and the responsibility, even if it's not ours to bear.
Do you believe it's a man's duty to respect a woman regardless of how she treats him in return?
No.
No. Respect begets respect. You being disrespectful, of course, there's a line that men try to not cross, but that's a situation where you just need to exit the situation and leave right away.
Does a woman's behavior play any role in how she's treated by men?
Yes. Yeah.
So why are people so quick to blame the man when things go wrong in a relationship?
Because the men are supposed to be the breadwinners. It's easy to blame them.
Because women don't like accountability, women don't like being wrong, and nobody holds women accountable. They enable women, so it's easier to blame the man, like always.
It's not always the guy's fault, but people are quick to judge the guy faster than they are the girl. So
why is that?
I don't know. People just perceive men bad.
They do.
And I don't agree with it, but that's just how guys are perceived. So
there are good men out there. You just gotta
find them. Pick through them.
Yeah.
And I think the same exact thing about women. There are definitely some crazy fucking women that have these crazy modern mindsets and don't respect men and are very combative and stuff. But if you really look through it, you're going to find some women who are sweet and feminine and stuff. Not conditionally feminine. That's how they are from the jump. You know, you're definitely going to find those women if you really just look for them. But a lot of people like to give up on both men and women's side. But yeah, you just got to put yourself out there. You know, people give up too much, and that's not really a good mentality, especially on the men's side. You know, the guys are just giving up, you know. But let's continue. There's definitely good women out there. In America, in the West.
Likely to be expected to settle for a partner that doesn't treat them right, men or women?
Wow.
Men.
That one's tricky, but I do want to say men. Men 9 times out of 10 they date and marry down. So they're going to be the.
There are men that are in sexless marriages, which is unfathomable in my fucking head. If I ever went into a sexless, I don't think I could go a week without fucking. I don't think. Okay, I don't think I could go 2 weeks. Nah, maybe. Yeah, I don't think I could go 2 weeks without like fucking or something. Like, and niggas are going whole months in marriages. I would divorce they ass. Fuck that. Like, shit. Unless it's obviously some complications, like, you know, maybe you're sick or maybe it's after birth or something. That's the only time you get an exception. But to consistently, like, you having sex a month, that girl don't like you like that. She probably cheating on you. I'm about to get somebody in trouble.
Ones that are going to be more than likely unsatisfied.
Maybe it's not the majority of men, but it's starting to become a movement.
Well, fuck you. Go away. Go find your women wherever you want. If you're not satisfied, I don't know what to tell you. If you want a woman who barely even speaks English and just has to suck your dick, go for it.
Well, I'm just asking on behalf of those men, I suppose. So, if your average man is treated better by women overseas, why do men prefer to stay here and play the game when the odds are so heavily stacked against them?
Well, I think it's because
I gotta say, doing these interviews must be a fucking headache, man. With some of the people you do. I remember me doing like the interview at Comic-Con or whatever, which most of the Comic-Con people were very cool. They were very nice or whatever. But like, I just know that he must encounter some annoying fucking people out there, man, doing these interviews and asking these hard questions. You know, shout outs to It's Complicated, man. That takes work. I know behind the scenes that this shit takes work.
it's what they know, and the thing that the United States has going for it is that the money's all here. So we all have to make a living and support ourselves and our lifestyles. So that's the reason, because you end up missing our culture we grew up in when you live in another country. But I'll tell you what, it's such a different feeling when you're in another country, how great you get treated as a man.
Essentially, why should men spend so much time grooming themselves to please the toxic women here?
They take what they can get because they have to. That's how society has played them into, doing that. Good men aren't appreciated.
So I feel as though there's some men who do groom themselves for women because men want to provide and protect and all that good stuff. But I do feel like it's part of their thing that they want to do for themselves. I don't think men should do that. That's just my personal opinion. Groom yourself for you, love yourself for you, not for other women. Especially in today's generation where women are showing they don't care about men and they don't give a shit about them. Yeah.
Why are you more likely to see female empowerment in first world countries?
Wow, great question there. Well, it's our culture. It's passed down from woman to woman, depending on where you're raised. That's why the family unit is so important, man and woman, raised in the family.
I agree.
Because it gives you the correct outlook on life.
And lastly, if there was one thing you wish men understood better about women, what would it be?
Understood?
Yeah.
I think the man cannot understood women.
Why not?
The women, they always think another one and say another one.
So why do we have the expression, where have all the good men gone, but nobody's asking where have all the good women gone?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I feel like there still is good men out here. I'm not saying I'm not saying there's no good women out here, but I feel like all the feminists and the women that are like bad are shouting from the rooftops, and there's not enough women, that care about men that have a big voice about it.
Are women the problem, or are the people influencing women the problem?
It's all the influences on women, actually. Since when they're little girls, me raising 2 girls now that are teens as a widower, you see it. I see what they're bombarded with on a daily basis. It's definitely our culture.
Wow, 100% the people influencing the women are the problem.
Yeah.
Naturally, I think women know what's right and they know kind of where to fall into place. Women know they're weaker physically, sometimes even mentally. They know sometimes they really depend on men, but because of the messaging and the marketing that's so powerful, it's going to be hard to get away from that brainwashing.
It's not really fair because, we're persecuted for every decision we make, but women are allowed to act trashy and disrespect themselves and disrespect men, but no one wants to stand up and say, hey, enough is enough.
Why do so many men think foreign women are the answer if many of those women will use men for citizenship?
Because they can get about 5 levels of a higher of a partner than they could here in the United States, and that's the trade-off.
Right there.
I think men innately know that there's always a trade-off. There's always something that they're willing to give up and that they're willing to sacrifice
that's
to
what you're
find
willing
love.
to give up.
You going to another country to find love is already an arduous and difficult task. So they know that there's obviously going to be some drawbacks.
A lot of people don't want to change their lifestyle either. Like a man probably content in his lifestyle that he has here, and he don't want to change his whole beliefs and whole custom and learn a whole new country. So
why are men always expected to sacrifice while women are always expected to be compensated?
Again, we're the ones willing to do so. We don't have a problem with sacrificing. Even though, sure, having to work 23 hours a day, we'll do it because it's a sacrifice we're willing to make. It's just something that comes with being a man. Women, I don't think they're willing to do it, and that's what's going to be the major difference.
If it wasn't for sex, do you think men would be willing to make that sacrifice?
No, I'm going to keep it a buck, no.
So isn't it really all just about
it's fucked
the
up,
power
but
of
no.
the JJ?
Yeah, pretty much. Power to pum pum.
Well, that's it for the video. It's complicated. Always love the questions he asks. Yeah, but I think instead of wondering, saying oh fuck these men or whatever, I think there can be a lesson of why are these men going over there? I think having an understanding of why, if women took the chance to try to understand why of something, because just me personally, I don't like to always point fingers. I always like to understand the why of something so that I can have a better understanding of it, and also have I could just interpret it better and walk through life and understand it better, and just basically combat certain things like these, and that comes with just understanding and getting with women. Even though there are some things about women that I may not like, it's good to get in to understand those things so that when you're around them, you know how to respond to those things. And women understanding why these men are leaving could be a good lesson into how they could self-reflect and change themselves and things like that, and what can they change about themselves, but yeah, he's always interesting with his questions as always. But we're going to end it right there. What you guys thought about the video? Did you disagree with anything I said? I'm always love my respectful disagreeers down in the comments. But I will see you in the next video. BQ Quick Review. Nah, we do.
Pick up the pieces and patches, I gotta be, cause the edges are jagged. I do not call my peace lessons with real beef, they be squeezing them ratchets. You not the same person that you on internet, I've been smelling some catfish. Don't condone violence, cause we move in silence, you know that they got it like Metal Gear Solid. Pick up the pieces and patches, I gotta be, cause the edges are jagged. I do not call my peace lessons with real beef, they be squeezing them ratchets. You not the same person that you on internet, I've been smelling some catfish. Don't condone violence, cause we move in silence, you know that they got it like Metal Gear Solid.